Good morning, Year 4. Welcome to Thursday's English lesson. Right, everybody jump up to your feet. We are going to get active. Okay, so let's start by just reaching your arms up. Okay, nice and high. Brilliant, that's really good. Okay, and punch across the body, punch as hard as you can. Get those arms really going. Okay, well done, everybody. Okay, and now we stand to feet, swapping over, opposite hand to opposite foot. Okay, right, let's start marching really hard, get those arms swinging. Okay, and march round, all the way round. Okay, as fast as you can go. Get your arms pumping, get your knees coming up. Right, really high knees now, we've done this quite a few times. Opposite arms, opposite knees. Okay, well done, that's really good. Okay, what I'd like you to do now, I want you to do some star jumps. There's quite a few of these as well. Nice big smile on your face. Brilliant, okay. Now this time, instead of just jogging on the spot, I want you to actually use high knees. So you bring your knees right up. Okay, using lots of energy. Just really waking up. Okay, ready to start the day? That's really good, well done. And now as with the other day, kicking back, kick the bottom into your feet. And if you like how you're doing that, you're punching. Okay, well done everyone. Keep going. Let's see if we can keep going for a little bit longer. Right. Okay, and now we're going to go, you might not be able to see my feet, we're going from side to side, leaping onto one foot, and then the other as you do, punching across. Okay, you should be feeling your heart rate going up. Should be finding it harder to talk now. Keep that body moving. Okay, and just jog slowly on the spot. And get those arms going. Backwards. And we are ready to start our lesson. Right, so hopefully you've got your pen and your paper ready. And just a reminder, we are still looking for Monty and Blueberry. They are hiding somewhere, and I wonder if you'll spot them during this lesson. Okay, so today is Thursday, the 28th of January. If you could write the date and the WALT. We're using apostrophes today for possession of plural nouns. So now we're thinking of more than one thing, and the punctuation of that changes slightly. So pause the video and write down your date and WALT. Well done. Now, our first activity that I would like you to do, we are going to try first of all and write these words as a plural. So instead of having one pony, we are going to have lots of ponies, and instead of one baby, we're going to have lots of babies. Okay, and I want you to think about how the spelling changes. I wonder if anybody knows how the spelling changes. What I'd like you to do is look at the first four words: pony, baby, teddy, and country. And I'd like you to pause the video in a moment and write down those four words in plural, as if there is more than one of them. Don't do all of them at the moment, just do those first four words. Right, did you all know that you needed to write ponies, babies, teddies, and countries like that? What we needed to do when the noun ends in a Y, when there is more than one, we drop the Y and add IES, okay? Ponies, babies, teddies, and countries. Right, what about these three words now? Volcano, potato, and hero. These words are singular nouns and we're going to make them plural. I want you to have a think what might happen to the spelling of these words when we make this more than one. So 2 volcanoes, 2 potatoes, and 2 heroes. Have a try, write it down, and then I'll show you the answers. So pause the video. Well done if you spotted that you simply add ES. So words that end in O, you add ES. Volcanoes, potatoes, and heroes. And what about these words? We've got wolf, knife, and calf. And we want to write them so that we've got 2 wolves. I'm giving you a clue here. 2 knives and 2 calves. The spelling of these words when they become more than one does change. Pause the video, have a try. Well done if you knew to take off the F of wolf and make it a VES, to take off the FE of knife and make it VES, and to take off the F and make it VES for calves. That's not easy, that. So really well done if you spotted that. And finally, we've got box and fox. And I want to know what two boxes, how two boxes is spelt and how two foxes is spelt. Pause the video, have a try. Well done if you spotted. It is boxes with an ES and foxes with an ES. So those are some of the spelling patterns, the way words have to change when we add, when we make more than one of them. A lot of words, when they become plural, like a pen, becomes pens, and you simply add an S. Okay, pencil, and you simply add an S. But these are what we call our irregular ones, and the spelling of the word has to change. You may need these for later on, particularly if you're in the Americas for your work. Okay, so you may want to reference back to that. Right, just to recap on yesterday, I want you to have a think which answer makes the underlined singular noun possessive. So in other words, which is the correct spelling of clocks if this is a singular noun? So the first one says the clock's chime always rings at noon. This is what we were doing yesterday. So what I suggest you do is jot down the answer and then I'll click on the right answer. Hopefully you chose, it was this one. We got that correct. So it was clock, C-L-O-C-K apostrophe S. There is one lion. The lion's roar could be heard for 5 miles. Write down the one you think it is. I hope you all wrote this one, lions. Well done. The spider web was very fragile. The spider's web, there should be an S there, was very fragile. Okay, well done. If you've realized it is this one. Okay, my mum's hair is very long. So is it my mum's hair or my mum's hair with the apostrophe at the end? Write it down. Well done. If you thought it was M-U-M apostrophe S, you are correct. Okay, so that is just a quick reminder of yesterday when we were looking at singular nouns. Today, we're looking at plural nouns. We're looking at more than one dog, more than one pen, and it's slightly different. So let's have a look what we need to do. Okay, when there is more than one, so in this example here, we've got more than one dog, and we're talking about the leads of the 2 dogs, the apostrophe goes after the S, okay? So if the noun is plural and ends in an S, we simply put the apostrophe after it, and that's how we know that there is more than one dog. If the noun does not end with an S, then you need to ask yourself who is doing the owning. So in this instance, it's the children, it's their children's lunch we're talking about. The children, then you add your apostrophe and then your S. So most plural nouns, you put the apostrophe at the end of the noun after the S. But there are some exceptions, okay? And it's usually when the noun changes, from the whole word changes when you make it plural. So one child and lots of children. Okay, I'll explain a bit more. So let's have a look at these examples. Okay, you've got here 2 boys and we're talking about their fancy dress costumes. So you would write the boys apostrophe, because there's 2 of them. Fancy dress costumes attracted a lot of attention. Here we've got more than one loaf of bread. We've got loaves, that's why it's spelled like that. The loaves apostrophe glaze is shiny. So as soon as we've got more than one, if the noun ends in S, the apostrophe goes after that. It is quite complicated. There's lots and lots of adults and children that still find this quite difficult. So don't worry if you're feeling a little bit confused by it. Then moving on to the ponies, we've got more than one pony, which is why it is spelt ponies, I-E-S. So we know there's more than one. So we've got the ponies diet, we've got ponies apostrophe diet. And then we've got more than one house. So the houses apostrophe, okay? The houses chimneys are all made from brick. And here we've got 2 volcanoes. Because there's 2 volcanoes, we put the apostrophe after the word volcanoes because we're talking about the volcanoes summits. That's the top of the volcanoes. Okay, so what I would like you to do in a moment is watch this clip. Now, I think the best thing to do, because there are some activities on this clip for you to do. It's a very short video that might help to explain this a little bit better. So probably the best thing to do would be to pause the video, but copy this link onto another page into your computer. You might need to get somebody to help you with that. You can go straight into it from this PowerPoint, okay? But I think it's best to pause, and then it gives you some time to do the activities, okay? So pause your video, have a look at that if you're able to. If you're not able to, you can carry on watching the video. Right, so hopefully you managed to watch that little clip and do some of the activities that were on the BBC Bite-Size clip. If you haven't done that, don't worry, we will keep going. There is another way of trying to help yourself when you're trying to work out where the apostrophe goes. You ask yourself, who is doing the owning, okay? Then you add the apostrophe, and then you add an S if it is needed to make the sentence make sense. So let's look at my example, the boys' shoes. Who's doing the owning? The boys are owning the shoes, okay? So we've asked ourselves that first question, who is doing the owning? Then it says we need to add an apostrophe. So we put the apostrophe afterwards, and then we add an S if we still need one. In this instance, we don't need another S because we've already got it on the word, the boys' shoes. And that's why the apostrophe ends up at the end of the word. Right, let's do some examples. So the girls' bags were very pretty. So there's more than one girl. What I want you to do is rewrite this sentence and put the apostrophe where you think it needs to go. Ask yourself the question, who is doing the owning? Once you've worked out who's doing the owning of the bags, put an apostrophe at the end of the word. If you still need to add an S, put the S in there. Right, so just pause the video for a moment. So hopefully you managed to work out that it was the girls doing the owning, and then you put the apostrophe, and we didn't need another S because we already had one. So it's the girls' bags were very pretty. If the apostrophe had been before the S, it would be a singular noun. And that's how you can tell if we're talking about a plural noun where there is more than one, or a singular noun. Right, the baby's rattles were extremely noisy. I know there's more than one baby because we've written the plural for baby. Pause the video and think where the apostrophe needs to go. Okay, hopefully you have realized that the babies were doing the owning. Then you put your apostrophe, and again, we don't need an S because there's already one in the sentence. The baby's rattles were extremely noisy. Right, what about the men's football team scored 5 goals? Ask yourself, before you do this one, who is doing the owning? Okay, pause the video, have a try. Right, this one isn't quite so straightforward. Who is doing the owning? It is the men doing the owning, not the men's, but the men. So you write the word men, and then you put your apostrophe in. Now, because the sentence would not make sense if you said the men football team scored 5 goals, you then need to add your S, okay? So the general rule is who's doing the owning, write it down, add an apostrophe, and then put an S if it is still needed. Right. What I would like you to do, there is in the folder for today's work in Thursday, there's an activity for each group, Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Americas. Try and complete the activity. Now, you don't necessarily need to print it off. You can write straight into your books and look at it from the screen. Okay, so please don't worry about doing lots and lots and lots of printing. Okay, let me just come out of that. There is also, we've got an Education City link for you to practice this. Okay, yesterday you did the possession obsession. Okay, and we've got another one for you to try today. And this one is called Explorers. Okay, and you'll find that in today's homework set in Education City. And there's a little teaching activity that goes over what I've just said again, and then you've got the activities to do. So that's just for some extra practice as well, if you want to. Okay, so just before I leave you to do your activities, have we spotted Blueberry and Monty today? Can you see where they're hiding? Okay, I can see that Blueberry is over here. We have found Blueberry. There she is, or he is. And Monty is hiding between the 2 boxes. Good hiding places, guys. They'll do one more day of hiding tomorrow, hopefully, to play our little game with us. Okay, have a great day. Do email in if you've got any questions, and I will see you all soon. Bye, everybody.